Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Oh, jeez. My goodness. Okay, let's see, what do these tea leaves have to say? Okay, and our card for tonight is the Queen of Cups. So, one of the most beautiful cards, in my opinion, in the Thoth deck. And I'll show you really quick just because it is so pretty. Okay, and if you haven't ever seen it, I suggest you go and look it up on the Google or whatever you use. And again, the Queen of Cups. This is a configuration that is very dreamy, but so balanced and tied to reality. It is kind of that place that we get into when we are feeling very magical, when we are noticing, the divine in all things, when it is alive and well in our lives. If you could think of something like being out in a meadow at dusk and the fireflies, everything is very velvety and green, dewy looking, and then the fireflies start coming out and they're dancing around you, and it all just makes sense, right? There's not a worry. There's nothing to do next. Whatever happened before, it's forgotten. But you're just in that place, immersed in it. And it's beautiful. And it's so fragile as well, because beauty like that cannot remain for very long. It's a brief moment. And so I feel like you're kind of in this place. And, with the Queen of Cups, it's also a lot about inner knowledge, knowledge of your abilities to be a healer, clairvoyant, intuitive. Okay, and I'm looking at this one. This is really, and I'm going to spin it a little bit more. Because I want to see what else we have going on here as well. Okay. So, this is interesting to me. Okay. All right, so I want to start with this one, actually. And I see a person reaching up and kind of grabbing something, catching something, okay? And so to me, I feel that and this is kind of specific, and I know usually I try to save more specific details until later, but I feel like this is really important. So I feel that there really is a connection to some kind of item, a physical object, kind of that it has or it will find you. Okay, so something that has come into your possession. It doesn't have to be recently, but recently you have been more focused on it. or you did just buy it, or somebody gave it to you, or you found it on the street, whatever it is. And this thing has a whole aura to it. Okay, like it really feels like it is something special, meaningful, you know, like there's something attached to it. Maybe it maybe is odd, a little bit uncanny, or maybe not. Maybe it's just like anything else, but it just feels different. And as you have become more aware of this object, as you have maybe interacted with it more often, I feel that it kind of is the thing that is going to set off kind of a chain of events. And I think that these things that are going to be happening are going to be quick. And we have a person that looks like they're kind of flying across the sky here, right? And I think that this is something that's just going to, all of a sudden, it's going to be kind of an onslaught of things. Not necessarily bad things, but a lot more to do. You know, maybe more communications from people, maybe just a series of unfortunate little mishaps, or, you know, things that are just kind of put you out. And so there's going to be some emotional and anxiety type stuff tied to these events. But I think that, and this is the part that I think is really important, is that, let's go look at this one. We have kind of almost, I think of kind of like the old hag, right? That motif, the old crone, kind of the witch in the woods or something like that. But she's holding something, and then we have kind of these three paths here. We have a fire going, so it looks like, you know, the passion, the inspiration, vitality of life. This one looks like somebody fell on a spike or something through their neck. Their head's here and their body's here, and it's kind of limp. And then down here, it looks like we have some kind of cat, maybe a lion, okay? And it looks like we, you know, just being stealth, being cunning, clever, moving with a lot of thought, okay? And I feel that there are going to be some decisions that need to be made, but you have done a lot of interior work. You've been doing well. You have been successful. You've been good at balancing kind of those cycles of being frivolous and careless, and maybe, you know, indulging a little too much or whatever it is. But you've been good at tempering yourself. You have focused on the work that needs to be done. And I think you've also really focused on giving recognition to your abilities as an intuitive person, as a healer, as somebody who maybe is clairvoyant. And I think that you're really working on advancing whatever abilities you have. And so as the situation arises and you have to make decisions along the way, and those decisions are going to decide, how is this going to play out for you? You know, and I think that clearly, you know, I feel that there could be some pitfalls. You could not, I don't think that there's actually any, you know, danger necessarily, but I do think that you can become distracted, you know, disenchanted, kind of all of these positive energies that have been propelling you forward, keeping you focused on working and creating and finishing projects and all of these things that you've been doing. If you get too ahead of yourself, or you know, you just decide to, you know, linger too long in these whatever the indulgences are, there, you know, there will be a failing there. Okay. But I think that more than likely we have, you know, you're kind of this natural, you know, that lion energy. Okay. I think that that is already active, of course. But I think you know, the more intentional practice that you put in, you know, applying yourself, being pretty discerning about how you spend your time, the energy you allow into your life, the energy you put out, all these kinds of things really gets you to that true nature, right? But I also think that the fire, right? That's a big one. Going to that place where it's kind of like, you know, you're sitting around the fire, you're putting, you know, wood on there, and it's growing. There's a lot of inspiration, and these kind of abstracts are coming into formation. You are able to begin the process of bringing them over into manifestation. And, you know, this is also definitely a place that you could easily get into. So it's really up to you what fits with what's going on, right? And this crone energy is really interesting to me. I personally love that energy. Identify deeply with it. But I think that, you know, really what it is about developing wisdom. Okay, you have a lot of the knowledge. It's about developing that knowledge, transmuting it into wisdom through, you know, functional applications of the knowledge. You have to we can read books, you know, learn all kinds of things and carry those facts with us, but a lot of times you have to play these things out, put them into action so that you have a deeper understanding, and that becomes wisdom. Okay. Now, and I'm looking over here, and I see this this figure turned. It looks like a person kind of holding maybe like a sword or something. But in my mind, I feel like if you've ever seen somebody take like a machete in the bush and they're whacking down the plants so they can make a path, I feel like there is a real sense of you being a guide for others. And I feel like this is really an interesting kind of role for you to play, because you're a Leo. You're really amazing at being a leader. But I think when you are leading people who are kind of attracted to you because of qualities of your life that you really care about, not just like, okay, you know, you're a manager at work and you're really good at that and you probably excel, and yeah, you probably care about it too, but it's not your beloved thing. You know, this isn't the lifeblood, right? When you hook up with people, link up with people in your life who meet you on a level or within the same realm of the things that really impassion you, and you can take a role of a mentor, of a teacher, of a leader, you excel. Okay, I think that's really a very natural state for you to be in. Okay. And I feel that you really know the way, even if you don't always know it consciously. It arrives to you because you are open. You have an open heart. You have an open mind. You're good at channeling energies. And, you know, through this kind of work, there is this abundance of love that comes through for you. I feel like there's a wholeness. Things come into focus for you. You feel like you are doing something that you are meant to do. Okay? And that can lead to, I mean, just such happiness, right? And so, you know, the only thing that I would mention is just the ability to protect your energy, right? We have to be careful about how we share ourselves and who we let into our private lives or, you know, close to us. But also, you know, the big thing, when we get busy and we're feeling so inspired by the world, by the divine speaking to us, you know, going through us, we are doing the things that we feel configured to do. We cannot abandon our routines or our spiritual practices, the things that get us to these places. I mean, directly, these are the things that are linked to our ability to be open and receiving. Okay. So it can be easy to forget the things that we need to do. Sleeping well, intentional movement, eating as well as you can, right? Drinking water, reading, writing, creating, going outside, all these kinds of things. Working on postures, breathing, whatever it is for you. Okay, just do not get so wrapped up in your successes, in your, you know, magic that is coming into your life, that is very alive in your life, that you are perceiving in your life, that you neglect the important kind of footwork that you have to do. Okay. And so it looks kind of like a side profile of a face that's kind of a little stern maybe. And I almost wonder if this is a sibling or maybe like a family member, an aunt and uncle, but who is more towards your age group. Somebody who just has like a very kind of stagnant feeling, repressed kind of energy. Like they feel like they have a lot of blockages. And I feel that they're going to be kind of coming into your direct life, maybe communicating with you, texting, calling, for whatever reason. Something, I don't think that they're just going to show up for no reason. Something, you know, is going on or whatever where they feel like they need to talk to you, get a hold of you. But through this exchange, I feel that you will be called to give them some guidance, okay? I feel that you will perceive that although they probably do pretty well generally in life, that they might need some help on a more emotional and spiritual level. So I think it's important for you to speak to them openly and kind of show yourself to them, maybe in a way that you don't always talk to your family. You know, I know that a lot of us come from groups of people, or you know, some of the people we've chosen to be in our lives, they just aren't into the same things we're into. They're not into the same concepts. They might even kind of find it tedious, or you know, whatever, and we just kind of tone it down for them, and that's okay. I don't talk about doing readings and that kind of stuff with most people in my private life, because they don't really even know what it is, you know, and that's fine. But I think sometimes when somebody shows themselves to us that they're having problems, or, you know, they feel disconnected, or, you know, they just, you know, I don't know, the universe puts them in our path, in our way, so that we may talk to them from this kind of like, you know, higher vibrating place. Okay. And so, I think that this is going to be an opportunity for you. Okay. And for them as well. And I think that should be coming up pretty soon here, if it hasn't already. And so, you know, I think that these are really important times. I mean, it's really such an honor to be able to talk to people about these kinds of things. Especially, you know, if you are able to connect with them in a way that maybe they've not been able to connect to anybody else before. And then that really is very touching. Okay. So I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me, for allowing me to do this reading for you. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and that's helping grow the channel. And you know, as you know, that's that's exciting for us all. And you know, we're also just building a nice community here, and I really appreciate all of you. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next video is coming out. And if you want to leave a comment, I read all of them. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to get a message typed out to you. But that's just because life is pretty busy. And I know that you are busy as well. So if you do leave a comment and I don't immediately, you know, reply back to it, come back and look in a day or two, and I probably will have by then. So other than that, yeah, I hope you all are just having, you know, a wonderful Leo season. It seems like it's been a pretty awesome one here in the, you know, United States. At least it's been very warm. I think it's been pretty dang hot everywhere. So I hope you all are, you know, able to get a little reprieve from that once in a while, and are, you know, taking care. And again, I'm always I'm always that person that's like, drink your water, don't forget, drink lots of fluids, take it easy. Okay, so all right, lots of love to you, and we will talk again really soon, Leo.